Hey y'all, it's Mr. Smith. In this video we're dealing with polynomial substitution. We kind of hit on this a little bit in foundations, but we're going to go ahead and just review it. So in this first one we need to find the area of a trapezoid. They give us all the parts and they give us the formula. So we're going to plug in everything. So we have 1/2, right? 1/2. Our h is x minus 2. And we're going to put that in parentheses. And then we have b1, which is 2x minus 3. Put that in some parentheses. And then we have a plus. And then we have our b2, which is 4x plus 2. And so, first thing I want to take care of is my inner parentheses. So when I look at this, I do have an inner parentheses. So I have this big parentheses, right? And I want to take care of everything inside that first. So we have a 2x minus 3 being added to a 4x minus 2. So I'm going to take my 2x and my 4x and just add them, and we get 6x. We have a negative 3 and a positive 2, and we get negative 1. So again, all I did was combine like terms. The next thing we still have this x minus 2, and we still have the 1/2. I'm going to go to multiply my two polynomials. This is just box method, right? Because there's no sign here. It's just multiplication. So I'm going to put my 6x and my negative 1, my x and my negative 2. Draw my box out. So we get 6x squared. We get negative 1x. We get negative 2 times 6. So we get negative 12x. And we have a negative negative, positive. 2 times 1 is 2. We do have a like term, so we have negative 1x and we have negative 12x. So this gave us 6x squared, negative 12, negative 1, minus 13x. And then we have a plus 2 here. And the thing that we cannot forget is that we still have that 1/2. So we're going to distribute the 1/2 to all three terms. So 1/2 of 6 is 3x squared. This does not go evenly, so we just write it as a fraction. So 1/2 times negative 13 is negative 13 halves x. And then 1/2 of 2 is 1. And that's our answer. So all this really does is just check to make sure you know how to multiply your polynomials and add them and subtract them, all that good stuff. So let's go into the last one. So for this last one, we have a cone. And they tell us to find the volume of the cone. So in order to find the volume of the cone, we use the volume of cone formula, which is 1/3 pi. And then we have our radius, which is right here, right? It's dotted from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. So I'm going to put that in parentheses. So we have x plus 3 squared. And then we have our height, which is 2. So I think the most obvious thing that we see that is kind of glowing at us is this x plus 3 squared. So we're going to solve that first. Alright, because if you remember order of operations, parentheses, nothing we can do inside the parentheses, and then we have our e for exponents. So remember PEMDAS. So can't do nothing there, so we're going on to our e. So off to the side, we have x plus 3 squared. Remember in the previous videos, we know this means x plus 3 times x plus 3. And anytime we have a polynomial times a polynomial, we can do the box. We have x and 3, x and 3. And we know x times x, get x squared, x times 3, 3x, 3 times x, 3x, and 3 times 3. We get 9, we draw our peanut, and we get x squared plus 6x plus 9. And so we still have this 2 here. We still have a 1/3 pi. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply everything by 2. So we get 2x squared plus 12x plus 18. We still have a 1/3 pi. So let's go to multiply everything by the number first. I'm just going to multiply by the 1/3. So I'm going to multiply that by 1/3, this by 1/3, and that by 1/3. So we get 2/3 x squared. 12 times 1/3 is 4, so we get 4x. 18 times 1/3 is going to give us 6. And so now we just have the pi. So we're going to multiply everything by pi. But when we multiply by pi, we're not going to multiply by that decimal number. So when we do 2/3 x squared times pi, we're going to get 2/3 pi x squared. The easiest way for me to explain is that pi, it's a number and it's a variable, and we always know we write the number first, right? So since it's kind of in between a number and a variable, it goes in the middle of them. So when we do 4x times pi, we always write the number first and then the variable follows, but the pi is a number and a variable all in one, so we're going to put that next and then the x, so number to variable. And then here we're going to do 6 times pi, so we put the number first and then we put our pi, and there's no variable, and then this would be our answer. I really hope this video helped. This is Mr. Smith signing out.